Today we're visiting at the Miramar Air Show. There's a terrific program today, so let's get right to it. The Miramar Air Show. Starting off is the world's smallest jet. It's 12 feet long, weighs 450 pounds, and flies at 350 miles an hour. It's piloted by Bill Beardsley, who was a former member of the Navy Blue Angels. What a teeny weeny beany little jet. You could put it on a trailer and put it in your garage. Refueling in air, from a tanker to a jet airplane. We have John Darmer here with us. He's president of the Antique Aircraft Association. John, tell our viewers about Steve and the story of this airplane.
Well, this is a very unusual airplane, and Steve's a very fine pilot. And the airplane is actually a Zlin Z50, which was designed and developed by the Czechoslovakian aerobatic organization to compete in international competition. And Steve is an aerobatic pilot, and he's been flying several years and doing a lot of air shows, and he finally got this aircraft out of Czechoslovakia, and he's really turning it inside out right now.
Tell us what he's doing.
Well, now he's at the top of a loop, and he's coming down. He's doing a full roll and a half, and now he's on his back, and he's going to do a negative G pull-up, probably pulling about 3 negative right there. And he's topping out, going to come back down, pulls it into a snap, 2 snaps, and diving down once more to get some airspeed. Those snaps are hard to do at that speed, too. It's a very violent maneuver. Now he's pulling up again, 45-degree angle. There's another snap and a half, and another one. Okay, he's coming back down again, and he's pulling at least 4, maybe 5 Gs in all these positive G pull-ups, and that's hard on the body. But the airplane's thrust for plus 12 and minus 6 or minus 10, somewhere in that range. Okay, pulling straight up, doing another half roll.
What's the horsepower on this airplane?
Horsepower is 275, and it's powered by a Lycoming, which is an American-built engine. Okay, pulling up again now, and kicking his rudder. See him wiggling that tail around. Going to zero his airspeed and get to the top and then just drop off and do a hammerhead stall. Now he's diving straight down, a hard pull up, and he's going to do an 8-point roll here, which is a very, very precise maneuver.
John, tell us about Jim Franklin and his Waco?
Well, Jim is an accomplished aerobatic pilot and started out as a kid and was flying air shows in his teens. Picked up this old Waco UPF-7, modified it with a 450-horse engine, and puts on one of the best air shows you could possibly imagine. Okay, now he's going to do a half roll, and he's going to drop down and make a ribbon cut at about 3 feet off the ground. Now that takes skill, and guts too, I might add. Not too many people will try that maneuver.
Not too many sane people.
That's right. Well, I think Jim's a little nuts, but he won't admit it. Okay, diving back down, and he's just going to start turning this thing every which way but loose. Roll, snaps, you name it, he can do it. That's a Cuban 8, or half of one, pulling up again. Look at how close to the ground he gets. Okay, now he's going to do a, looks like a half roll, vertical half roll, come back down. Smoke really helps to follow the aircraft.
How many horsepower does he have?
He's got 450 horsepower. It's a Pratt & Whitney in there. And it really hauls that big old airplane around. That's a big airplane, and it was built as a primary trainer right at the beginning of World War II. So it's not a Pitts, it's a big horse of a bird. And he flies it like a Pitts. Look at the rolls, one after another. Yeah, he's going to be pulling about 6 Gs at the bottom of that. That gets your attention. Pulling back up again, doing a vertical roll. Vertical snaps. Okay, now what's going to happen? There we go, into an inverted flat spin. And folks, that is a hairy maneuver. You see the airplane is almost flat on its back. And in fact, he has a record for inverted flat spins. As I say, he's quite crazy. Okay, now he's pulling up again. That was a nice recovery.
Snap rolls on the down line, ladies and gentlemen, as he spins down. He's in the inverted flat spin. He is spinning down inverted. No power at all being developed by the engine on the Toyota Air Sports Corolla. Finally,
John, this is Don Johnson, but he's not from Miami Vice. He's a bush pilot, isn't he?
That's right, from Alaska. Been there for 13 years.
Is he really flying a Toyota Corolla?
Well, that's what the name says, but no, it's an aircraft he built himself. It's an unlimited aerobatic competition aircraft, and he flies it very, very precisely, I might add. Going up, he's got tremendous vertical performance on this thing. I'll probably roll out of that, start back down. He's doing a square maneuver there. That puts a lot of G on the airplane. They're very, very punishing maneuvers. Watch, he'll go straight and then he'll pull it up very hard, establish a vertical line. He's pulling, maybe 8, maybe even 10 Gs, doing vertical rolls now, and he'll zero the airspeed.
What does 10 Gs mean for our viewers?
Well, that means if he weighs 170 pounds and he's pulling 10 Gs, his body is then going to weigh 1,700 pounds. And all the blood is going to pour out of his brain, his head, and into his lower body. And unless you're prepared for it, you lose consciousness. It's a very difficult thing to overcome, and it takes a lot of physical strength and stamina to tolerate those Gs. This airplane has a tremendously fast roll rate. I'd estimate somewhere close to 360 degrees per second. And he's very, very aggressive with the airplane.
Does that mean he could do a snap roll in 1 second?
Absolutely. Yeah, now he's pushing over.
As the aircraft seemingly tumbles, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, now he's inverted.
He's just hanging upside down.
Half rolling out of it. Okay, a snap. And that was going at a great speed. That's a punishing maneuver at speed. Pulling up again. See that roll rate is very, very quick. Look at this. He's flying what amounts to a... That's amazing. That's a knife edge vertical turn. Straight again, and watch, he's going to make another one of those 8 to 10 G pull-ups. Oh, ooh, that hurts. That's a real workout.
Obviously, this has to have an inverted system.
Oh yes, full inverted systems for both oil and fuel. And they better keep working or you're going to have some problems.
And then set up for the loop for the snap on top, but this time the Don Johnson version, the loop for the double tap. Now, diving to the ground, airspeeds will build at over 200 miles an hour. In the Toyota Air Sports Corolla.
He flies that airplane beautifully and very aggressively.
This thrilling air show performance that you're watching today reflects Don's experience.
Starters out here.
We'd like to thank Captain R.L. Casey, the commanding officer of Naval Air Station Miramar, for putting on a wonderful air show. And John, this is my favorite airplane. Tell us about it.
Well, this is the GB. It's a replica of the original airplane, which was a Thompson Trophy winner and also a Bendix Trophy racer, and was flown to success by Jimmy Doolittle. It was also a very hairy, very tricky airplane, and this airplane wound up killing 2 pilots. This particular airplane was built by Delmer Benjamin and Steve Wolf up in Oregon. And it is an absolute incredible piece of work, and it flies like nothing I've ever seen.
It looks like a bumblebee.
Well, it's a fat little airplane, and in fact, it was designed that way. They wanted to get the biggest engine they could put in an airplane in the smallest package. So they came up with a teardrop fuselage, and that's how the GB came to be. And it was a very fast airplane, but also very tricky.
It was the fastest airplane in the world in 1932.
Yes, sir. It had the world land speed record for aircraft. And it was way ahead of its time, of course, at that time. The military airplanes couldn't touch it for speed. But it was also a very tricky airplane, and as I said before, very difficult to fly. Benjamin does an unbelievably superb job of flying this airplane, because it's still squirrely, even though it's probably not quite as difficult to fly as the original.
He is excellent. They call him the Flying Farmer.
That's right, because he does have a big farm. I think he's from Montana, if I'm not mistaken. And he does a great job. He's very good at knife edge in this airplane, and he'll demonstrate it here shortly. Right now, he's just doing rolls.
Just in case you were wondering, I certainly would like to have one of these for Christmas.
Well, Captain Fred, I'll see what I can do, but don't count your chickens before they're hatched. You know, he's blind as a bat in that airplane. When he comes in for his landing, he wheels it on, as you can see right now. And that's the only way he can see anything. But once that tail goes down, he can't see anything. A little patch of blue sky. It's a very tricky airplane to land, but he manages beautifully.
possible. And he holds that tail up as soon as he runs that forward stick right there. He lets the tail come towards the ground, plants it firmly.
John, if somebody had described a Harrier to me, I would not have believed it. I have trouble believing my own eyes.
I know, it's kind of a magical thing. It's almost unbelievable to watch it. This airplane does things that no other airplane can possibly do. It's the first and only combat vertical takeoff and land capable aircraft in the world. And originally built and designed by Gloucester, a company in England, and then sold or licensed to the United States, and then eventually wound up as a Marine support aircraft. And this fellow is putting on a tremendous show with this airplane. As you can see, it can hover, it can rise vertically, descend vertically. It's absolutely amazing what it can do.
Were these used in the Falkland Islands?
Yes, they were, with a great amount of success, as a matter of fact. And they were used for close air support down there.
This would be perfect if there were no airports.
Absolutely. It doesn't need an airport. It can land anywhere, and it can hide under the trees, and it's the ultimate in a forward tactical aircraft because of this capability that it has.
Are these built in Great Britain and then we buy them?
No, we build them under license now. In fact, we've developed this airplane and put larger engine in it and more avionics, and of course given it a greater armament capability. Now that's magic. Look at it, straight up. Now that's thrust and power too. The airplane has a very, very powerful engine in it.
That's not trick photography, is it?
No, sir, that's the real thing. Just amazing. Now just sitting there on a cushion of pure thrust. And now he's going to slowly rotate it around. It uses vectored thrust, by the way. One engine, and it vectors the thrust depending on which way it wants to go. Now it's going to start moving straight, vertically, pushing up, transitioning into more or less a conventional flight.
I believe you know the lead pilot in this team.
Right, that's Chuck Lisher. And I met Chuck several years ago when he was doing an aerobatic display in a very highly modified Swift. Very nice guy, just a peach and a superb pilot.
He went to San Diego State.
That's right, he's a local boy. Local boy makes good.
This is more like an aerial ballet, no snap rolls.
No, not really, not when you're flying close formation like that. This is very, very precise flying, and believe me, it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work. You can get very sweaty doing this.
You did this, what, 10, 12 years ago?
Yes, we set up a little formation aerobatic team at California Aerobatics back in the early 70s, and we flew a three-ship decathlon with two Citabrias as solo aircraft. Kind of cutting new ground, you might say. These fellows do a beautiful job. They hold excellent position.
How far apart are they?
Well, probably, about 6 or 7 feet apart.
And how fast are they going?
Well, coming down through the bottom, I'm sure they're doing at least 200 knots, maybe more. This is a lot of fun, as I said, but a lot of work. You have to react instantaneously, constantly. So you're constantly moving the stick and the throttle. And the success of the formation aerobatics is actually keyed to the leader. He's got to fly very smoothly and consider his wingman, and he'll have to play his throttle too, so he'll have enough power to get over some of the maneuvers.
They're 6 feet apart at 200 knots.
Right. But the Blue Angels do it a lot faster, and they're no farther apart. Nice, nice, smooth show. takes a lot of practice to do this. Whoa, that's kind of scary. You have to know when to do it and how to do it. Coming over the top now, and they'll probably all come back down here and hopefully meet in the center. Well,
I know what they're going to do now.
looks like a fleur-de-lis, doesn't it? I think this is going to be, looks like a heart. Very nice.
During the 3 shows, Saturday during the day, Saturday twilight evening, and Sunday during the day, close to 1 million people will attend the Miramar Air Show. They have airplanes on display in addition to the air show up in the sky. And just about every kind of a hot dog and hamburger on a stick that you can buy. The NAS Miramar Air Show. John, this is what everybody came to see. Tell us about the Blue Angels.
Well, the Blue Angels are the official Navy aerobatic team. And I must say that they do an absolutely magnificent job. They started in 1946 flying Bearcats. In fact, Zeke Cormier, who was well known around here, particularly the Aerospace Museum, was one of its members. And they performed in various aircraft over the years. They put on a spectacular show of truly precision formation aerobatics. I'm an ex-Air Force pilot, but I have to say that the Blue Angels really pushed the edge of the envelope. I have nothing but admiration for them. They do a super job.
How long do they serve?
Well, the pilots and the flight surgeon and a few other personnel serve for 2 years, and the remainder of the personnel serve for 3. It's a very, very tough schedule. They're TDY, meaning they're gone a lot of the time. But, of course, it's a lot of fun because they're doing magnificent flying.
Can you describe these maneuvers? Do they have names?
Sure, they all do. Right now, they're making an inverted pass. Not totally inverted. 2 of the aircraft are upright. But that in itself is quite scary because you're rolling in very close proximity to the other aircraft and you can't see them part of the time. They just do some stuff that is truly, truly hairy. Look at this. Oh, rolls into each other and then crossing. That's got to be perfectly timed or you're going to hit the other fellow. Now they're at echelon left, pulling up. And I think this is, it's an echelon roll. Beautifully done, nice, big, old, wide barrel roll. And they're holding absolutely perfect position. And they're close, my friends. Very close, as close as 3 feet, I'd say. Coming down out of the bottom of the roll. Line abreast now. And then a position change in the pull-up. Going into a diamond with 1 in trail.
I want to compliment our camera operator. She does an excellent job.
Incredible job. That's not easy to do. I don't know how she does it, particularly in all this heat. Okay, the bomb burst, or the cloud burst. All going in different directions, coming back down through the bottom and missing each other, which is incredible. Nice flyby. Okay, now coming into land.
I want to thank John Darmer, president of the Antique Aircraft Association, for helping us with our narration today. It was really a big help, John. Thank you.
Well, I enjoyed doing it. I hope I can do it again sometime. Thanks, Captain Fred.
Well, we saw some terrific flying today. I enjoyed all of it. This is Captain Fred from the Miramar Air Show. God bless America.